So Medicare, give them credit, they're aware that there's a better way to do things. 5 years ago, they wanted to stimulate the use of people, care navigators, they call them, to call patients in the home who are chronically ill.
Yeah.
The idea was that if we can get people to talk to patients while they're home, maybe we can keep them out of the hospital and only go there when it's necessary. We send them to the doctor instead. Let's call that chronic care management, and we'll come up with a code and pay $42 a month per patient for someone to do that.
Yeah.
So I started a company to do that, and quickly found out that for $42 a month, if we have to manually read a patient's record and then call them, and you have to talk to them for 20 minutes per patient per month, you can't make money because the labor costs are too high. So we built software to automate the ingestion of clinical information from a patient's chart. So we build interfaces into that customer who's a doctor with a lot of patients. We build it, we interface into Epic, Cerner, Athena, Allscripts, suck in all the information per patient. And from that, we use the AI to create a script based on that patient's condition.
Yeah.
That we get to these navigators and we tee up the whole thing. So the navigator gets up in the morning, they open up their computer, it has a list of all the patients they're going to call, what the conditions are, and they're all summarized and highlighted, what drugs they're on, what symptoms they've had. Here are the questions to ask. If they give these answers, we want you to call their doctor and say your patient's called in and they're having this problem. So it's all semi-automated, even though a human now is in the loop between the patient and the data. The patient feels like they're getting this great concierge service. Like, how'd you know that about me? How'd you know that I've got 3 kids and my cardiologist is Dr. Jones? How'd you know that?
Yeah.
And the patients relate to it. We have a 90% rate of continuation. Only 8% of the patients drop after 6 months of these calls. They love it.
Well,
And we know we've increased patient visits by 18% per office.
yeah.
And these are patients that need the visit. These aren't the ones that are worried. They make appointments for people who we're going downhill. We see your hemoglobin A1C is now over 7, and it was 6 before that and 5 before that. We think you should see your doctor, and I'm going to call him and tell him you're coming in. When would you like to go? So we make sure they get in there for that visit, not the hospital, but the doctor.
And
that's a way of shortcutting the whole thing we were just talking about with software.
I feel like that should be the norm, right? That should be how technology works, right? Like you want, but the reality is like most medical practices are like, they don't have the resources to be able to have someone sift through all that data to build, like it has to almost be an automated process at this point to be able to do that. Because manually doing it, you'd never be able to do that in an effective way.
So in January of 2022, 2 months from now,
yeah,
Medicare is raising the reimbursement rate from $42 a month to $63.
Okay.
They have seen the light and they really want this program to be done everywhere. So they're putting money in it.
$63, would that make a difference versus the 42?
Yeah, we figured that at $42, you have to do 200 patients per navigator per month.
Okay.
Can't do that without software.
No.
If they raise the rate to 63, you could do 125 patients. So there'll be a lot more people doing it without having to build the software to automate and make it more efficient. You can make money. The bottom line is you want more patients to have the benefits. So it doesn't always have to be with automation. As long as you pay enough money, you can get it done now.